Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Stelezzi here with another Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition Age of Pirates mod native overview. So today, instead of doing a totally new native, we're actually going to be going over one you might be familiar with. The Hapsburgs, of course, the House of Habsburgs to be more specific. But there's a specific reason why we're going to be going over them today, and it's not the standard native site that you're used to with them. There's actually a new variant of the Habsburgs called the Spanish line. Basically, the section of the Habsburgs that goes through, Spain, Netherlands, Italy, that side of it. So, yep, they were introduced into a new map here, the Balearic Islands, right? Just off the coast of Spain. And in many ways, they're pretty similar to the Habsburgs of Austria. They got a lot of the same units, a lot of the same technologies, but there's some key differences. Namely, how the native site looks, how the units look, and also some deviations in terms of the technologies and stuff you can find there, right? So yeah, we're going to check it out quickly right now. Go over it real fast. Should be a quick setup since the Habsburg site is always on the island with the player here, so it won't be too lengthy to locate real fast. And I'm going to go over really the new stuff that we need to look at. The old stuff we can look at it for a second as well, but mostly the new stuff that you have to look at. And there's quite a bit of things to observe, so right now I'm just going to take my Explorer here, look around, and that's the Jesuit site. This is the site we want right here, the House of Habsburg. Notice right away how it already looks a bit different, right? The building looks different. A lot of the structures are a little bit different. Also, the icon here clearly shows the Spanish flag and soldier instead of a Austrian one. So you already can tell it's going to be a totally different experience than what you're used to. I'm just going to add some cheat resources in so we can research everything quickly, and we'll get started. Alright, we just did that. Here's the native site right here. First is first, we need to age up very quickly. Very good. Here we are in age 2. So the first unit we can make is the mounted infantry. Alright, so for those that play vanilla Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition, you already sort of know what the mounted infantry is, right? Basically a mounted range heavy cavalry, so not a light cavalry, a heavy cavalry with multipliers against infantry. Sort of like a lancer with the range attack instead of a melee attack, if that makes any sense. And then obviously if you want to dismount them, you can turn them into a skirmisher as well. So, yep. The only difference is the visuals. So, visually you can tell right away this is a totally different bit of artwork here. New icon for the dismounted, as well as the mounted infantry, right? Animations are the same, just the costumes different, and then the icon. Everything else is the same with it. And if we take it a step further and age up again, and we train these units here, the line infantry, same case with the line infantry. Statistically, all the modes are the same, so if we go through all 5 of them, the standard range mode looks like this, stagger mode, your hand mode, your defensive mode, and your stand grind mode. So these are all the same as the Austrian line infantry. Only difference again, the costume of the unit for the Spanish, as well as the icon. Literally it. So already it's just looking like a standard Habsburg site with maybe some costume tweaks, right? Well, you'd be wrong there, because there's actually some new stuff right away that we're going to be going over, alright? So, first is first, you can upgrade with the veteran and guard there, which we can do right now. Statistically, the units will be the same as their Austrian Habsburg counterparts. And as far as technologies is concerned, a lot of them you might be familiar with already. You got Congress of Vienna that gives you a shipment. You got your Crown Lands that grants you 20 XP for each building that you own. Again, you'd probably want to send this once you have a whole base established to get the most of it. Also, you got your multinationalism as well, so you can send that to get a bunch of random mercenaries, which is pretty cool, just like we just sent. Other than that, now we just have to go over the new stuff. The reason why you're here, right? Yeah, the reason why you're here. Because if they didn't have any new stuff, I wouldn't commit an upload to it, but I want to go over the new stuff with you. So, right away, probably the biggest thing you're going to notice is this right here. The big button, Siglo de Oro. And unlike Austrian Habsburgs, this will actually add new technologies to the Civ that you'll be able to research, right? The first one here is Pizarro's Conquest. It's just Pizarro unit with special abilities able to train additional native warriors. So here comes Pizarro. Pizarro is a additional explorer unit that you can unlock. Yep, here's Pizarro right now. Main thing you gotta know about him is basically he has the ability to train Huamakas. Yep, he can train Huamakas. That's his main thing. His main caveat is training Huamakas. Right. He can make up to about 7 of them, so not a whole lot of them, but certainly a significant number. Other than that, he's got all the standard explorer abilities. He's got train post, town center functionality, so in every other aspect, he's just like a regular explorer. His main thing is obviously just his ability to make these Huamakas, right? And if we compare him to a regular explorer, he is a little bit more durable. He's a little bit tankier, right? And stats-wise, his damage is a bit down. And the other technology we have here that's new is Santísima Trinidad. This gives you a powerful armada ship with special abilities. So basically, it gives you access to a new boat here. It's basically a battleship. Statistically, but it's got some cool abilities. So the first one here is the ability to make rowboats. So not only is this a big, giant ship that can give you a huge advantage on the water, it can add a bunch of little mini boats to help you out too and support it, right? And these little rowboats have a range attack about 60, HP of about 500. So that you really could think of them as like European canoes almost in terms of how they function, right? They can also go into stealth for a short duration of time, but if they attack a unit, and once this little timer thing goes up, then they're visible again and they will be attacked, right? And interestingly enough, you can research a tech here at the boat as well. Saboteur Kit. It basically gives these rowboats an additional ability to light some sort of explosive next to either a ship or a building. So not only do they have their standard attack, which, you know, it's not that good since it's like a canoe, you know, bare in numbers. But basically, if you want something a little bit more of a kick, you can use this ability right here, the Sabotage attack, and it'll do about 250 crush damage, right? So if you want to see that right now, I'll demonstrate it. It's very similar to the rowboats we saw on the Black Sea map with the Dnipro Saboteurs, but basically this is what it looks like. Yep, he just throws an explosive barrel and it like insta-destroys the boat, especially if you use them in mass. Other than that though, this big battleship has 2 abilities. He's got the salve attack, basically his version of the bombard ability, right? Basically does a gigantic broadside attack with all its cannons, doing a ton of damage. Or you can do the long-range bombardment attack, which is similar to a monitor, allowing it to hit a building from far, far away, right? Yeah, so basically this is like the most elite boat that you could ever make, right? It's got the stats of a battleship, it's got the ability of a monitor, it can train boats around it, and those boats in turn can do explosive attacks. This is like a mega good naval vessel that you should absolutely use. And just to showcase it, let's look for, you know, like a town center or something here, something the enemy might have under his belt, and we can just like bombard it right away. Now it looks like we can't really see any buildings just yep, now we do. Alright, so let's hit that bank. Yep, see that? I just struck that bank, and it will cool down both the salve attack as well as the long-range bombardment. So similar to an explorer with multiple abilities, you can only use one of them. You can't just spam them both together, otherwise it would be super OP, right? Yep. And now the last little tidbit of this native. So you know how the Austrian Hapsburgs had an ability, right, to produce Magyar Hussars, correct? Well, that wouldn't make any sense for the Spanish, so instead of Magyar Hussars, you can get El Duguyo. Spawns more Galichistas the longer you wait. So instead of Hussars, you'll begin Lancers, and instead of that tech that adds Hungarian Grenadiers to the ability, yours will add Bistieros. So you got Iberian Union. The Goyo ability now adds additional Bistieros. So if we research that, notice how it doubles now, because not only does it include Lancers, it also includes Crossbowmen. So if we make that right now, here you go, you got some Guardachista Lancers, and then you have some Order Bistiero Crossbowmen. Yep, and that's basically it, you know. Basically, this is the same as the Austrian site, except instead of ability giving you Magyar Hussars and Grenadiers, you just get Guardachistas and Bistieros, and then instead of the, well, I shouldn't say instead of, in addition to the techs you normally have, you get this big giant armada boat, where you can make little rowboats, giving you a dominant navy, and then you get access to a new explorer that adds a new native, the Huamaca, from the Quechua native site for Definitive Edition. But if it was Legacy, obviously that would just be the Incas. But here it's the Quechua. So yeah, thank you for coming. This was definitely a pleasure. Hopefully these developers add some newer native sites in the future. Maybe they could add some new text to the Austrian Habsburgs. That could be pretty cool, right? Oh yeah, most definitely. So see you then whenever they do it. Anyway, sign off now.